Hello and welcome everyone to a special episode of Hunter x Hunter First
I
Time.
thought you forgot for a second there, for a split second. But
Nope, nope. Um,
you ain't me in our part 5 series.
I'm Jim,
And I'm Sam.
uh, and yeah, this is a podcast that we do.
Yes.
Sam is reading through Hunter x Hunter
For the first
for the
time.
first time. In what's potentially our shortest episode yet, we talk about 8
Well,
chapters.
like the one guy comment, he said, like, you're gonna be pissed when you get to, like, the next arc's, like, chapter notes. Kind of like, he was right, this is 7 chapters, but, like, I had 2 chapters per page, essentially, of notes, and because this is a lot of exposition
Yeah,
in
so
this.
we are talking about what is, I guess, known as the Dark Continent Expedition arc,
Yes.
which, for someone who hasn't read the manga, because the last episode we did was like where the anime ends.
Yeah,
It's like
the election arc.
Yeah, the election arc. One might think, oh wow, they're going to go on a whole expedition to the Dark Continent. That's a massive
Oh,
arc, isn't it?
No, this is the boat arc. Or just, like, the beginning of the boat arc.
We haven't even gotten to the
Yeah.
fucking boat yet. This is the prelude to the boat arc.
I thought we all are on a boat. It's the Jing sections on the boat. Like the Jing's on the boat with
No,
with,
but they run underground. Remember, they go underground.
There's
into
a lot of
mines.
there's a lot of jumping around locations.
There is a lot of jumping around. This is it's weird because like if you've been reading Hunter x Hunter up to this point, like you had spent so much fucking time in the palace at the end of Chimera Anarch.
Yeah.
It feels weird to jump around to like all these different locations.
Yeah, at least you got like the hour that you got back to the Hunter, so like the Hunter Association.
Yeah.
You got to the Killer's home again, and then it was essentially just like stuff in the Chimera Anarch where you got woods and everything. And
Yeah. No, we haven't even gotten to the fucking boat yet, Sam. We've seen the boat.
okay,
You have not.
we've seen multiple boats.
Yeah. Well, there's one big boat that has a tiny boat inside of it. You'll see.
So
Yeah, I think if you squint, you could have seen it. But
yeah, so.
what
Yeah.
chapters are these?
I said 340 to 348.
Thank you for reminding me. So this is actually 9 chapters. I lied. I said it was 8.
Well, I did read the 349 because I did not think the arc actually ended until like.
Yeah, I don't know why this feels like such a weird distinction to me. I guess because like the next arc does go like heavy into like
The prince
yeah.
stuff, because I will guess we'll talk a little bit at the end because I did read like the introduction to the princes and the jar,
yeah,
so I guess we'll get there, as we say in this podcast. We'll get there.
the cum jar.
The cum jar, sure.
No, but so okay, this is the first post like arc.
Yeah, we don't have an episode of Hunter x Hunter on the TV to like.
We can't watch. No. So what did you think? What were your thoughts of this arc so far?
There's
I know it's
there's
so
a lot.
short.
It's basically this whole arc is getting Kurapika back in here, but mostly Jing. This is like the Jing arc.
Yeah, it's just so weird going from never seeing Jing at all. Like we see like one up until the first
So-
like 300 chapters, we see Jing in like one panel.
So if you only watch the anime, you would think that Jing and Gon are basically just end with like him finally being dead and probably just like being with him for a while. But no,
Nope, that is not what happens.
Jing's like fuck off.
Okay, so I guess I kind of want to bring it up now because it's so major. What do you think of Gon losing his Nen?
I'm pretty sure I knew that was gonna happen because he basically like they said him using that ability would literally never let him use Nen again after that one use essentially.
Yeah.
Even being fully healed, I mean, because how Nen's a weird thing like that, it probably kept it like that, or it just fixed the
Mhm.
body and not the Nen, because
Yeah.
how Nen is weird, especially and Nen is weird as we will get to.
Nen is very weird.
Nen beast.
Yes. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we don't really see too much of that now.
No, I just know. I
Nen
know.
beasts are very fun conceptually.
Yeah. When we get to that, because I got to the introduction of them, I kind of want to talk about. Cause I don't think I understand like at least 100% of it, but
Yeah, and I think that's more that's explained later. But
okay.
yeah, because this is, as I said, like this is very much just like prelude to the expedition itself.
Yes, and this is also like the stuff we get to Beyond is like he's also like a major character, and just like I'm so interested about
Uh-huh.
Beyond. It's weird.
Beyond.
I was
that's
like,
right.
this name seriously fucking Beyond.
I fucking love Beyond.
So we have to start with the first chapter. So we get the Zodiacs together. Bean shows up, shows that
Bean.
that the was it Kakin, the kingdom with the kings.
Yes.
Hugo Row. Hugaro.
Sure.
Sure. He's like the least important person of his family.
He's pretty unimportant right now.
And he wants to expand into the Dark Continent. It's a forbidden region, the ultimate taboo, and it's outside of the world map, which is because we did see that old map that was like a weird jumbled Earth globe essentially. So it's interesting that there is like this outside like the map, and like there's no proof that someone has circled around the globe at all.
It could be flat. It
could be flat. It could be flat. We don't know. The map is a lie.
One thing that is crazy is they refer to like the entire like the ocean that surrounds them. They refer to it as like a lake. I think.
Yeah, they said they're in the center of the lake.
Yeah, like the entirety of like the Hunter x Hunter universe is basically in a lake.
It's so weird.
In the middle of the lake.
Because, like, you could because, like, they say magical beasts originate from there, and calamities happen when ventured. And, like, when we saw the beginning of, or the tease right before the Chimera Ant, we saw the queen, like, wash up on shore.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow the queen got into the lake and just drifted, I guess, or
she was brought there.
Or brought there. We don't know. 100%.
Yeah. That's something that I don't even know. And I think it's probably one of those things that's just, like, left to be a mystery.
Yeah.
Because, like, they go pretty in-depth in the things that are brought back and how... Well, you know one of them. You're familiar with one of the things that was brought back.
Yeah.
From the last arc.
Yes. I'm blanking.
Killua's sister.
Yeah, Killua's sister.
Nanika.
She was one of the things brought back.
Nanika was the eye that was brought back. AI. The ghostly thing they refer to.
It's called a Nanika. What they refer to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait. So
Nanika came from.
So just that side of it. So
yes.
They didn't just find Aluka there and then bring her back to them as an adopted child, like Wild Thornberry style.
No, I think
I
think Aluka is like the biological child of the Zoldycks.
And wherever Zoldyck ventured over there brought that back and attached itself to their child.
Potentially. Or even, like, it could be experimentation. We know the Zoldycks are pretty horrible.
One of the new torture things, like, we found this thing in the continent.
We're going to shove it inside our baby daughter.
Luckily, what's it called? He came out pretty nice sister to Killua.
Yeah.
Other than just a whole wishes thing, kind of killing people and crushing them.
Everything worked out in the end. Well, I think that's kind of like one of the themes of Hunter x Hunter is like just because something is dangerous and powerful doesn't mean that it's evil.
Yeah.
Like the Chimera Ants aren't evil. Like
not all of them.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Like I would even say that they're maybe a couple are evil. Like a couple are like actively malicious. But like the queen herself, I wouldn't say is evil. I think she was just like an animal that was like, surviving.
Yeah.
Whereas like some of the like
Poof was pretty evil.
Poof is evil because he's acting in like a very selfish,
because he
manipulative way.
Yeah, and some of the more monsters are the weak ones, I guess. But like we got
Colt is like they're
so it depends on the human. Even some of them that were like from like actual criminals came out like pretty good.
Yeah.
Like any of them that were kind of related to what's his name, to who's the guy they kind of built up.
Gyro.
Gyro, yeah.
Just like from my JoJo anime.
Right, the Gyro. We had it's basically all the ally force we had. Even like the MVP of Wolfen. Like
everyone's favorite.
And we even had the freaking like RV of
Blaster. No, not Blaster's.
Well, Blaster's Roman. He
just settled down.
Even Kite. Like it just like depends. Like the humans, like it's just weird because they put like feed on humans or it depends on the animals they reproduce with, and the humans kind of seem to be like made them more good. Where like because even what's his name, the one boy by Tomar. Yuppie. Yeah, that's how I remember it. Yeah, Yuppie was like, even he was basically all on magical beasts. Like he came out like he was pretty damn good. Like at the end, he like, kind of had an honor system, but of course he was going to have this thing like, I'm going to kill them all, but then became a cherub. But I kind of hated that.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing with especially he's a great example because he's non-human. Like with the other ones that are human based, like you could say, okay, well, their experiences, but since he's all animal, like. He's like not evil. He's just kind of surviving. He's just being like you wouldn't say like an animal's evil.
He's just kind of like he has a duty of protecting the king, and that's all he kind of thinks about.
Yeah.
But is the king mixed with a human as well, or Or is he just like a weird like one after a certain amount she just produces a king as like its own like a pure chimera and
That's a
it
good
it has
question.
like human features of like
He's definitely like the result of Nen users being eaten, like human Nen users,
just like
but
or just like a weird chimera, not really human, but more so Nen,
yeah,
just like a like, form from that.
potentially, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of
So
this is left unanswered,
yeah.
but let's get back into okay.
All
So
right, so this,
beyond
so
Netero,
they say Netero is going to lead the venture team, but and he hired his son Beyond Netero. So, which is like fucking. This is the name is ridiculous.
I love his design. It's so fucking good.
I did not expect his design to be like the big bombastic looking
He's so
motherfucker.
cool. Oh, it's really
So
good.
the Zodiac say he had no family, and they're all kind of surprised that this is like an actual like they're like, this is not real.
So
Even
yeah, this is like such a big thing because like, how could Netero? Because we know that Netero is like 130 to
yeah,
150 years old.
yeah, the
Like,
lifespans are pretty high in Hunter x Hunter.
well, that's just because he was like a big
Yeah, also
master.
him as well, but.
So like Beyond Netero could be like upwards of 50 years old,
I
like very
I
easily.
got like in 50s was like what I would guess, or
He
like
doesn't
early
seem,
60s.
yeah, he doesn't seem old, but he's not young. So
And if he trained like we don't even know, I don't know how he trained yet.
we
So
don't know what his fucking Nen could be. Like, what is this man? What could he do?
yeah, so yeah, but the speech he gave sound like Netero, so they're all pretty like confirmed. Like okay, that's his son. Like because you inherit speeches.
It's very much it reminds me of in France in the 1800s when they went back to a constitutional democracy or sorry, a constitutional monarchy.
Hmm.
They found one of Napoleon's like nephews named Napoleon III, and they just made him their leader
Sure.
because his name was Napoleon.
Yeah.
Because they could whatever, yeah.
Why not?
So yeah, it's just like people are just they get hype over the name Netero.
Yeah. So or iTube as like the funny YouTube ripoff of the
I
Hunter
do, yeah.
universe.
It's really weird because, like, I always think about how in the beginning of the Hunter or the end of the Hunter exam, like, Gon gets explained what a website is. Like, he doesn't know what a fucking
I
website
mean, he's a
is.
country boy.
That's true, but like, and the way they describe the internet then versus like how it is now, actually, like, it makes sense from like our point of view. But there's only been like 2 years of time that have passed in the Hunter universe since we started.
I mean, the most thing we got were like TV screens a lot in Chimera Ant and like
Mhm.
phone. Even they had cell phone. It is
They had
weird.
cell phones in the in the not election arc and New York, New
Yeah,
York. They buy cell phones.
sometimes you kind of forget like how modern like the world is in this show. Or sometimes it goes to, like okay, they have TVs, you got cell phones, you
Yeah.
got all this stuff, and then suddenly you just they have an NES that you can like or a SNES that you can go transport you to another part of the world.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's very much kind of
what's it
like
called?
playing around with whatever
It
is most fun.
It isn't as bad as Naruto because Naruto would like they have like TV. It's like this ninja world, and like you don't really get like having TVs and like modern a couple modern stuff in it, and then like there's like movies where like it's like that where like it's just
I had no idea there were fucking TVs in Naruto. That's
yeah. Is there some
weird.
there's weird technology
That
in
sucks.
Naruto? And it doesn't come up that often as you think. So when you come there, like wait, what?
Whenever that I see stuff like that and something like okay, I've never seen Naruto and I never fucking will. But when it comes up in a thing like Naruto, I think like okay, well this is just a convenience because the writer
Yeah.
was lazy and they needed to explain something. But like in Hunter x Hunter, the world we just see like a very small picture of the world at first with like Gone on Whale Island,
Because
and then like it slowly expands so that it doesn't feel as weird
because
when we
like
see the stuff.
you see like okay, you don't need for communication. They have chakra users in Naruto to like can mentally communicate from a distance. That's like their power. They can kind of like
Yeah, yeah.
but then like you see like they have technology. I'm like then why is the point of having these people learn these they have the family abilities? But still,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's just certain things have that weird kind of like just seeing like how Dragon Ball has like kind of that kind of has that retro stuff, but then just has like futuristic cars and like even had the time travel.
I would
It's
I would
weird.
say that like Dragon Ball, the only reason that exists is because Toriyama just loves to draw weird cars and
Yeah, weird
machines.
tech.
so
It's just like-
it's
it's
just
just
like a
like-
way for him to do that.
Maybe it's just a thing in shonens that like have like that more of a fantasy kind of
Yeah, it's like a
trend to it.
yeah. It's taking like modern technology and just inserting it into a
It
fantasy.
can't be like Konosuba where like he's taking modern stuff and just like using it to make money into this fantasy world.
They do that in ReZero a bit too, where he like for the first arc or so, he has his cell phone and he like uses it as like
He
this
goes-
is a powerful magic spell.
He goes to another world with a cell phone.
Yeah, he does.
Like that one that the isekai has
Yeah.
tarot.
I think it's a flip phone though.
That's interesting.
Okay.
All right, so we're not even past the first chapter. So
Good.
So yeah, so so Bean says Netero left them 2 DVDs. One DVD is anybody came up claiming to be his child, and King was asked to withdraw the announcement from V5 as well.
So I'm pretty sure the other DVD was the one of like.
The one that came
I'm-
out saying I'm resigning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
So we need another election.
Yeah, this is how you do it. So yeah, so then so the King withdrawal from the announcement from V5.
So the
which
V5
is this is another whole other thing.
This is like the United Nations, right? Is that what it's
Essentially.
supposed to be?
I think so. It's kind of like these people who just have other, like the Hunter Association is one big thing, and I think V5 is more of the political kind of
Yeah.
thing. Right. So
Which it seems like okay. So in the past we saw, remember there's that like one shady scene where Netero is approached by some guys and they're like
in the building or whatever.
yeah, and it's basically like when they were like, okay, the Chimerian situation is out of control.
They're
We
the
need you to
suits.
sacrifice yourself. So I guess the V5. I guess we could maybe say like
They're the shadow government from Avengers that try to stop Nick Fury, but then they're never mentioned again.
yeah, they're fine.
So yeah, they have V5 rules. Like, they have 5 months of applications, procedures, contracts, etc. As I wrote, so many new side characters just disappeared now because they're the Beyond crew of. I wrote Lollipop Dog, 20s Cartoon Man, Robo Girl, Robot, Chef, and then I said, oh, the rat's there too, and the rat. So and we learned that Rat and Jing request.
Person.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I will just call him Rat.
Yeah. Well, he's not the rat anymore.
He's a dirty rat, though.
He's not the rat.
I know he's not a rat anymore. We're not there yet, though, so I can still call him Rat. So yeah, they requested to leave the Zodiac, and they were approved. So yeah, the Zodiacs have a direct mission from V5s is to hunt beyond Netero. So you get that's all set up. So now we have them going
Yeah.
against Beyond, and so now it's gonna lead them, I guess, against Rat and his new team of weirdos.
So I just really quickly reread all of these chapters today, and like the one thing that I was so into was like this sense of hype that I felt about this whole thing, where it's like it really setting up all of these things coming down the road, and it just got me so excited.
Which is funny for all these new characters that I introduced. They don't get names until like the end of this arc, by the way, because he kind of remembers. Oh, I never fucking named them.
Yep, no.
So next,
I would also say like don't bother committing names to memories. There's so
I
many
d-
more characters coming
I
up,
know,
dude.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Don't even bother.
You look at my first page of 349 is to write down all the princes' names.
I would say the princes' names are important, but honestly, like just know the number. As long as you know the number, you're good.
Okay, so it's
Except
just like
Center-ish.
Zodiacs essentially. Well,
Yeah.
he's like the main one, the
Yeah.
main.
He's
one
yeah.
I see.
We'll get to him. We'll get to him.
Yeah. So two bits. So this is when we go to the facility. The
This
two,
underground.
yeah,
Yeah.
two businessmen says they say the leader must be stopped, and he teased like a gatekeeper for, and I was like okay, that's a tease. Maybe that's
The
something.
Keymaster.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's like in Elder Scrolls 4 DLC where there's like a gatekeeper before you actually can go into the Shivering Isles.
I love that you. So I just made a Ghostbusters reference, and I love that you immediately you're like, "Oh, Gatekeeper, Elder Scrolls 5 DLC,
Or you get it?
whatever."
No,
I don't fucking
this is
care.
right because you have to get past. Because he said this is kind of like the test to get to the new land, and that's how it was. You had to get past this creature or whatever the gatekeeper was
whatever.
to get to there.
Okay,
I'll say sure, it's true.
I love this scene.
Well, they also say they need to keep Pandora's box closed and just mutated humans in jars. This is like horrific. A lot of this
It's
stuff.
so fucking. This is like real
This
body
is,
horror.
This is like what I heard the SCP like facility or like
yes, it really is. It really fucking is. The one guy that is like the sole survivor.
yeah, was it a woman or a guy?
I thought it was a
woman.
guy.
I thought it was a woman.
I don't know if they like explicitly, but that is like terrifying. So this person survived and they have been alive forever.
Yeah, they got the curse. Well, I'll have the name for all like the stuff they brought back.
Yeah.
But it was like the curse of immortality. I think it was called.
Yeah, and they do not speak and they do not eat and sleep.
They just stand there
and just are locked in a cage now. It's so fucking weird.
So, Glasses guy who's in there, who's one of the two businessmen, must read Journey to the New World.
Which is like a text that was written by.
The book accounts people's fate, and the bodies found on this side are all the bodies they found were on like this side. Apparently, they're not like in the New World. They're all kind of like washed up, I guess.
Which is another like very intriguing setup.
Just like the queen kind of washed up, as we said.
So it's like it's almost like there's a barrier or something that's preventing them from.
Yeah, that's when we see the creepy lone survivor who's no longer human. It's Junji Ito shit. Like, you need to like. So it's self-sustaining. It's been alive for 50 years, and it used to be a hunter.
That is just so scary. Like it's very creepy looking.
Like somehow it's just you're keeping yourself alive, not eating, not drinking. Like we don't know what is like just eating. Then is it like just this weird
Maybe.
like constant like regeneration that's like you don't need to do anything. I don't know.
It's scary, and like all the weird like mutated humans too.
It's like it ranges from like blobs to like to looking like that episode of Adventure Time where Finn gets like fused with like a foot. They get turned into like a giant foot kind of like looking like thing. It's a great one. Weird gross shit or like herdy cowardly dogs shit.
It's very creepy, and like it's funny because Togashi does body horror sometimes, but like this is like just those tubes with the bodies in them are so fucking creepy to me.
Yeah. Probably would actually be in Area 51.
Yeah, right. What it does kind of remind me of, actually, and what I kind of have fan theoried is that I think those bodies are like the remains of Nanika granting wishes. Because remember, we see the one maid, or is it a maid? Whatever.
It was one of the servants.
She gets like crushed by Nanika just by being like one of the.
Three of them got crushed, but I feel like
they just get like squeezed like in a very similar way to how the body.
I feel like the Zoltox would just like put into a tube and just throw it like outside into like a ditch or whatever because they probably have like a friggin' ditch just for the servants that die. Because we lost one from Illumi or Hisoka, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean
Goto.
Rip. So, and they just hired new ones. Like they hired the people from the hunter exams because they were out of a job for a time, so they just hired them. So yeah. So it's back to the DVD. It said the V5 avoided the Hunter Association. The Sun was part of the V5 decision making, and it led to many casualties and new threats. And Netero forbid him from returning until he died. So he had a bunch of death like on him for going to the New World before.
And he's so eager to go back.
Yeah, you don't know why.
Also, I love the like implication that like if he tried to go again, Netero probably would have killed him.
Yeah.
Like Netero, the reason why he said only after he dies is because that's the way he couldn't stop him.
And we have to know that he is nowhere near as powerful as him.
Mm-hmm.
So we know the power to that he probably can be beaten by someone at some point, but not the king power scaling or Chimera Ant power levels.
Well, that's the beauty of Nen. It's very like equalizing powers, like except characters like the Chimera Ants, which are just supposed to be stronger.
Or you mean they just shuffle through like Nen abilities like it's nothing?
Yeah, but like if you think about like Greed Island, like the bad guy in that one he's very like weak. It's just him using his Nen in a way that
it's not even him. It's like him and two of his friends.
Exactly, yeah, and that's like the whole point. It's like using your Nen powers to outmaneuver people.
But you get that scene of him like basically getting that entire like group that was like trying to work together and just killing them all was like so cool though. Yeah. This is to see the extent of like them using stealth as like their power. So we learned that Netero been to the new land twice, and it said it's a place where no victor exists.
So yeah, the whole like so I just read this, so I know what this is. So like Netero's whole thing was that he was looking for like someone that he could one-on-one combat.
Yeah.
But like the whole idea of the Dark Continent is that it's like every single aspect of nature there is trying to beat you.
It's like the Amazon rainforest, essentially. You're like, nothing is friendly, everything can kill you there. Things you've never seen before, and stuff you can bring back is like terrible.
So like from Netero's point of view, this was like not the challenge that he wanted.
No, this is too dangerous for not only him, but for the world. Like he even knew that, right?
But it's so, okay, this is like making me think, like there's so much buildup on the Dark Continent,
and you know stuff that's gonna happen. At least you know most of what's gonna happen with the next arc. So I'm not sure, like, your thoughts on this.
Can I do like a minor spoiler?
Sure,
it's not really a spoiler.
Okay.
So the current, like, where the manga is currently, has not reached the Dark Continent.
Damn, Sesame Wars is all on boats. God damn it!
I was like,
I was gonna make a Berserk joke. Like we're gonna get off the boat quicker than Berserk, but apparently not.
No. So yeah, they're still in the boat currently.
God damn it!
That's why I'm telling you, dude. The current arc is very controversial.
This is why there's no mangas about boats.
But so yeah, so
And One Piece
I
is not
don't
canon.
even know. Like I don't even know what's gonna happen in the Dark Continent. They're building up like all this mystery, but my what I was saying earlier is like I don't know what who is like gonna do good there. Like all the characters that are setting up, like they don't
Everybody,
really seem like they want to go. Beyond is the only character that seems like he wants to
yeah,
go there.
everybody seems like this is way too big for us, kind of thing. Where like we're tasked to do one thing, but not to explore anything else.
hmm
And
Which it seems like the Zodiacs are kind of into it. Like
they're
they all
kind
have
of
like
they're kind of into it, but they're mostly doing it for hunt because they have a job to hunt beyond
Yeah.
and stop this expedition essentially. Where we don't really know, like the and like all the princes are there to so there'd be one victor. That's like really why
Mhm.
they're all going. And just like Jing just seems like he just wants to go to stop the rat or see what the rat is up to with his whole plan. Like everybody kind of has their motivations, and then the rest of that crew is basically there for money.
yeah, and like obviously we see more characters.
And
come on
Larry's doing
later.
it for college credits. So
I love that so much. But yeah, and we know that like 20,000, no,
And
200,000 people are going.
yeah, and I know I'm pretty sure I know that the Phantom Troop is going
Okay.
because I know that about the Hisoka Corolla stuff. So
Okay.
unless it does a random thing like it did with Chimera Ant, where we're just cutting away to another part where their city is, and then we're just gonna have their tiny adventure, then come back to the boat. It could happen.
We'll see.
I couldn't put it past them after what they did last time.
I just can't wait for you to read.
I saw everybody hyping that
Makes
up, and like I could have swore you read that. I'm like, fair enough, not. I probably would get to it soon as well.
I guarantee it's going to be like the next two chapters.
Probably. So,
Hunter. Chapter 1.
shut up. I try to get to it. Okay, so he tells the Zodiacs to explore the Dark Continent before Beyond. It's a request, not an order, but they're basically okay. He's telling us to
Yeah,
go
it's
there.
it's an order.
It's an order.
It is an order.
That's what people who want to do orders say.
Yeah. I love Netero.
So yeah, it's funny to still see him be Netero, even though like he's been dead for like so many chapters.
Yeah.
So the monkey doesn't want to hunt Beyond, which okay. So now knowing what I know at the end, that's pretty interesting because he is like they basically Kurapika says that he is the rat for him.
Yeah.
His spy. So like
I
okay,
was going to say, wait, if you say the rat's going to be confusing. He's a spy.
monkey. Yeah, that's what I meant. He's the snitch for
Yeah.
him.
What do they say? They say like double agent or something? I can't
Yeah.
remember the word they fucking use.
He's basically a double agent. So, and Jing was the only one who wanted to go to the Dark Continent. So apparently he's the only Zodiac that actually had like any motivation to go there because that's how Jing is. It made sense. If you
Yeah.
know.
He's also probably like, damn, I got to get away from my kid.
Yeah, I better go to this continent where I probably will die over there and never have to see him again.
I mean, if anyone's going to survive there, it'd probably be Jing.
But then we get the power move. Beyond is calling and meeting with the Zodiacs. And he says, tell B5 that you caught me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a power move.
To me, this is like the most interesting part of the arc. Besides like all the hype and building of Dark
It's
Continent.
a lot of them planning, like, what's his game? We gotta, like, play around his game to be one step ahead of him.
Yeah.
It's kind of, because, like, Dog Cheadle is in charge of everything, and it's basically, like,
The
her...
chairman.
Yeah, it was her learning from last arc of, like, trying to be one step ahead of the rat.
Yeah.
And so now, like, okay, she doesn't know that he's with him, I don't think, yet.
Mm-hmm.
Him or Jing, but still, she kind of learned that lesson to be one step ahead of your adversary, no matter like they're always planning something. Especially these people, like him, like the rat, he's planning something. Like
And Pariston is planning like massive things with all these like
Chimera Ant
Yeah.
mutants.
yeah.
So there's okay. So here's when we learn about the 5 threats brought back from the New World. Number one, the fear-headed man is a botanical weapon. Botanical weapon. So. And then number 2, the gaseous life form the AI.
Yeah, so this is Nanika.
Okay. And I guess that's a weird thing that can just, like, consume, I guess. Unless the Zoltacs brought their child to the Dark Continent. Look, like on this little,
It's possible.
baby carrier on his chest. And then it just, like, the dad just had it on there. And number 3,
Silver.
Yeah. So the homicidal
Or
desire, venom snake is Hellbell.
I wish we see Hellbell
Yeah.
soon. I love the name
It bites
Hellbell.
you, and I guess it makes you go want to murder everybody. Interesting. Number 4 is a beast that keeps people as pets.
So okay, the image for this one is
Pap.
so fucking
It's
creepy.
so cool, though. I love. It's such a cool. Like, it's creepy, but it's awesome.
Yeah, that's well. I really love like a lot of the directions that Tagashi's taking.
You are
in
not
this.
perfect. The kind of like, thing.
Yeah, it's basically it's like a plant that like we
It's
only
like-
see like a small
You
image.
always see the eye is it's in darkness. Like you see the eye that had like tubes of like shriveled up like
fetuses.
Yeah,
Like,
they
look like
fetuses are, like,
but they're made of wood. It's creepy.
yeah. And then there's the Zobai, which is the immortality disease, endless despair, Danganronpa. So
I'm guessing that's what that one person is, that the hunter, like...
That's what I cut back to the picture for it was that person. So, that's the end of that chapter. So then we get... Beyond predicts that, I'm going to be released and the Zodiacs will join him to the Dark Continent. Dog Cheadle versus Beyond interrogation. And we'll tell the...
I just love how cocky Beyond is. He's just real fun. He's a real fun character.
Almost as if he's related to Netero and just trying to be a cocky son of a bitch. Without the fighting to wanting to die or be beaten or something like that.
Mm.
So he will tell V5 the official policy. The world... Okay, so this is when the world is in the center of the Dark Continent. So yeah... That's when we learned that, and 140 trips to the outside are recorded. The only recorded ones. There's probably some not recorded ones, but...
That's the thing, yeah, that's... Because when you said, like, what if the Zoldycks just took the baby? Like, that's totally possible.
5 trips are the only ones that had survivors in it.
Mm-hmm.
Which could have been 28 total. Beyond the only one still alive out of his trip, though. So, oops. Oops.
Yeah, and he's so eager to get back there.
And it said out of, there's 28, so 5 trips had survivors, 28 total survivors. Beyond was one of them, the only one in his trip. Only 3 survivors were able to return to a normal life. Which is, damn.
Yeah.
And one of them was Beyond. Essentially. I'm assuming.
And can we call him normal?
The name like Beyond, I guess not. We don't even know. It could be something from the Dark Continent. Could be the one influence. Could be an influence to him to return there.
Honestly, why not? Like
some kind of, I don't know, some kind of disease that makes you like want to go back there bad.
Yeah, like the things we've learned about the Dark Continent are so insane. So I mean, that's totally plausible.
So, and then V5 says wants to solve it peacefully. They must invite Kaken to join them and become V6 and support the voyage. And but they're gonna set up a trick of like using an uninhabited island, kind of like close to it as like the
hey, we made it to the Dark Continent, guys.
It's like imagine okay, Columbus, we're you can go to the new world, like, okay, we're going to island right off of Spain or right off of Portugal, and they're gonna like tell them it's the new land. Look, all this spices. You're in India. You did it.
Well, famously, Columbus, he thought that he had made it to Japan.
To
his deathbed, he thought that he made it to Japan.
I thought he thought he made it to India, and that's why he called them Indians, like, in the area, because he actually thought he made it to India.
Well, yes and no, because like where he thought he was is where he basically he thought that he made it to Japan, but yeah,
this is a weird hooky Japan.
Yeah, because he landed in Hispaniola, I think.
He landed in Central. He did land like
the island of Hispaniola.
Sure. Fuck him. Fuck Columbus.
Very controversial take, Sam.
Not a controversial take at all. So,
I'll have you know that Columbus died for nothing. He died.
He died knowing a lot.
Yeah, he literally on his deathbed thought that he had made it to Japan.
He
didn't realize that the Americas existed in the way that they do.
And then he whispered, "Everything you know is a lie."
And then his son killed him.
His son killed him.
Columbus Jr. And then he went to the New World.
He went to the New World. But like I never understand people like so added like Columbus started America when they're literally like America's like
they're actual like native peoples to America. Yeah,
there's that and
the Vikings.
Yeah,
too.
and the Vikings so are like named. There's actually named more so their country than like Columbus and everything.
Yeah, they definitely the Vikings quote unquote discovered America like well before Columbus. They just didn't like settle in ways that we would consider to be like, I guess, civilization.
So, last episode we got political. We can get historical.
Historical. So we should have saved the election arc for this time for the election.
If they want our point of view for that, they can go back and listen to it now. So, they say what's it called? They said use the uninhabited islands of fake Dark Continent land. Zodiacs figure the plan out really quick, and they will have a supervised voyage with him to make go follow everyone essentially. And Beyond is going to Dark Continent as a prisoner, but basically, I'm going to escape. I'm going to do whatever I want.
That's the thing. Like, and there's a part where Cheadle she's like, okay, we're gonna make them sign a contract that is like so intense that if he does anything wrong, we'll put him in prison for life. It's like,
This motherfucker could probably escape.
Yeah, like, okay, so, and this made me think, I was like, do they have, like, special prisons for Nen users?
We haven't seen a prison in Hunter x Hunter.
Well, we've seen, like, prisoners. Like, remember in the when they have, like, the tournament arc in the very beginning of the Hunter exam?
Yeah.
Those are prisoners, but they're not in a prison.
No, they kind of have a job. Even Razor was a prisoner.
That's true.
But he's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I guess you could say that some of the humans that live on Greed Island are prisoners.
I
they're
feel
technically prisoners.
Prisoners. They're certain. I guess there is a prison, but some of them had that option from the Hunter Association. Like, you can work for us, basically work your sentence off, and if you do it, you're good.
Maybe that's what prison is for, like, high level Nen users. They just put them in, like, places like Greed Island where they cannot leave.
The warden guy has a weird Nen thing where he's tying a Nen contract with him, and then you basically, if you fuck it up, you just you lock your Nen away, or like you take years off your life or something like that.
Or like Kurapika's whole thing where he has like a little knife next to his heart that if he breaks his rules, it'll kill him.
Something like that. So yeah, Beyond's going. There's a giant black whale transport ship
with a big smile.
With a big smile.
I love the big whale ship. I don't know if it has a name. I'm sure it fucking does.
I don't think I wrote the name up. So it will carry Beyond, the King, and the 14 princes. Like I said, I guess all.
As well as...
Hold on, I want to see how many princes I write down. God.
I think you're right, I think there's 14.
Yeah, there's gonna carry... Even the baby's going. I can't wait for the baby to be the main villain. Oh my god.
And I believe they said that 200,000 people...
Yes, I think it's gonna be by like random, by like lottery or something like that.
Yeah, I forget.
I probably write down, but I get to get
So, like... And then they also say that the king is planning on... He's in construction, has 10 additional ships. So
yes.
This guy is, like, trying to colonize the Dark Continent, which I can only imagine will result in a horrible bloodbath.
It's a bold strategy. We'll see how it pays off.
I can only
get off the boat.
Like, in my head, I'm imagining when they actually make it to the... If, like, this big ship even makes it, it's just going to be, like, not millions, but, like, thousands and thousands of people being murdered instantly.
Or either somehow being, like, caught in the crosshair of the princes fighting each other, or just horrible things happening to them from this island creatures.
There could just be, like, a big starfish that eats the whole boat. Like, we've seen these things exist.
Literally, Cthulhu could just appear in
basically,
and just, like, brainwash and they go mad. Like,
it could be real.
So the biggest surprise was just Jing showing up. I'm like, oh, cool, Jing here. And then I go, wait, fuck Jing. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, Jing sucks.
So, he's joining Beyond. He wants to join Beyond's teams, but he said he wants to stop the rat. Which, I was like, okay, that's a good motive. You're being a shitty dad again.
But the rat is also on the team. Like,
yeah, the rat is part
of this team.
Yeah, wait, what? The rat's here? Fuck the rat.
And he's the number... I think he says he's number 2.
See... When you see that he has the rat in the Jing, you say, fuck the rat, I guess I'm on with Jing now, so, like, the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, really.
So, the rat said he will send 5,000 Chimera soldiers if the Hunter Association responds. So, he has those fucking soldiers he had that no one wants to, like, do anything about.
So, I have so many questions about this. Like,
yeah.
The Chimera Ant arc, like, the events of the Chimera Ant, whatever, uprising, were so recent. Like,
yes.
How does he have all this control over these?
I'm surprised about using Kite to kind of trickle like some of those kind of, if they had these are on secret, I guess, then because if they were more control, maybe they could like cycle them in a little bit to like try to like reestablish their human side, maybe if they're more human to like Kite can have more force servants through like fear.
Well, we don't even know if he's aware of Kite, because it seems like Colt his whole thing was to keep Kite secret and like safe.
But I feel like they had to tell Colt that, oh yeah, your sister's actually good, though, inside your village.
They might have, but like...
You can't just, like...
I don't know. I really don't know.
I feel like Moral would definitely tell him that. Because he told Gon, so I feel like he would tell him, because he kind of made a pact with him and is saying, like, you know, I'll protect you if you just don't eat a human.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he knows now, and, like, Kite's only known to Colt and Moral and Gon. Essentially. Yeah. And whoever servants that Kite has now.
But Parison just having this fucking army of Chimera Ants is just like, what the fuck?
And I do like how Jing's like on it, like that's like a big worry for him. He's just like, what are you planning with this thing?
Yeah,
it's
like...
mad sus.
It is so sus, because like, Parison had a chance, like, to be the chair.
He was gonna be chairman.
Yeah, like, he could have... Well, like, why? I guess he'd rather be like a shadow. It's like a So sort of
He
like
wants to be-
controlling the world from the
He
shadows.
wants to be an agent of chaos, and he can't be that chaos if he has to rule the Hunter Association, I guess.
That's true, because like part of Netero's whole thing with being like the hunter, like the hunter chairman was like that he liked that sort of like interfering thing, I guess. But
He wanted to have the hidden mindset, but he only hired the rat just so he could be that counter
Yeah.
to him.
yeah, he could have someone that would.
And I guess the rat doesn't have that with anybody with. Even Cheeto's like too basic for him.
Yeah.
Like in a way, they were like he didn't have like any fun with her.
Yeah.
Compared to like if like Leorio was his actual like leader maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do like the idea that Cheetle is like kind of learning from him, and like Cheetle's kind of becoming more cunning.
yeah.
Because Cheetle is a character that is like definitely could use some development in that way.
Yeah, I mentioned the last one where I said only the zodiacs that are important are the Ox and Cheetle, essentially, and you're the ones the Rat and Jing, of course, but they're
Yeah.
more characters in the R zodiacs.
Yeah.
So
And they do, to Togashi's credit, I think he does give the Zodiacs a lot more screen time in this. Like
so far, yeah, I got a little bit. You got a little bit at the monkey, and essentially but.
even just like getting their like what they are a hunter for.
So far in this arc, it was mostly the Ox. We got a lot with him, and I figured, okay, he looks like a One Piece character, so he looks like he'd probably be more important. Looks different than the other zodiacs, just being like monstrosities.
Mm-hmm. I love his Nen ability too. It's so stupid.
It's cool. I like it. It's a Phoenix Wright ability. So
okay, let's go. We're already like 40 minutes in. We've done like 2 chapters.
Well, we had Leorio gets invited to the Zodiacs by Dog Cheetle herself, and he's gonna get college credits for it, which is great. I love Leorio being invited, but
It's just so fucking good to have Leorio back in the fold. Like he was sorely missed.
yeah, I mean, because like after even in York knew he wasn't that big of a character, and that was that was Kurapika's arc, and then we had Gone and Kill adventures for like the majority of the middle of it, and then this one's kind of going back. I mean, we got a conclusion to Gone and Kill for the most part, for at least for a time being, that we were satisfied to like cut away from them. So now we're on Leorio and Kurapika back. More so, we're following Leorio mostly from the first part, then kind of going with Kurapika, trying to solve this mystery, but we haven't got to any of the Phantom Troop yet to really get into Kurapika stuff.
There's like almost no reference to Phantom Troop within this set of chapters.
Yeah. But he recommends a new Zodiac, which we do know is going to be Kurapika, but we'll get there. But so we get Jing versus Rat in an argument. Calls Rat a baby looking for attention. I do love arguments between Jing and Partisan in this. It's so good.
They're like really good foils.
Yeah. So he's compelled to hurt things dear to him, and has a very evil face. He makes a very evil face in that one. So yeah, and then Jing punches the 1920s cartoon-looking guy. Looks like Popeye, or he looks like a.
He looks like
an old like Astro Boy era like manga like
Tetsuo. What's his name? Shit.
The guy who did Dororo.
Yeah. I can't remember his name because I'm.
I know you're talking about though.
Yeah, he looks like as you said, like very classic sort of like manga character.
Yes. So and then. They also does a thing where he like punches him in the face, but then it just looks fine afterwards.
Yeah, that was weird.
Cause like I do know he copied like Leorio's shit, and I wonder if that was the way, of just punching him, then just healing his face completely with the punch.
Yeah,
just, like, kind of a tease.
or it's some other ability that he has, because later he makes one.
He makes one reference saying, "Oh, I have a talent to." Copy
punches. It was like specifically like punches.
Basically, enhancer abilities he can just copy essentially the punch one. Like, okay, that means he's gonna find that one Phantom Troop guy, learn his wind up punch technique, and then just use it for himself.
Finks, it's possible. I mean, that's a good. It'd be really funny to see Finks like punch another guy again.
Yeah,
with his big powerful fucking punch.
Which we did question his in the first Chimera arc, like the potential of that, of what's stopping him from nonstop doing it.
Yeah, right.
But so yeah, and then I need to ask what I think is your favorite member of this crew, which is the robot girl.
Yep, she's my favorite.
She's in charge.
I like her.
It's weird because I don't know if she's like an actual human or an actual robot. If actual robots actually exist, because there are actual mechs like a Nen suit. Like it's like if they say it's like a
it's
Nen.
a Nen suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's a robot. I don't know if she's a girl.
Like we said with technology, we don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, there was a Naruto filler arc of Robo Naruto. So there could be a Like a robo Nen user,
Shut the
maybe.
fuck up.
Artificial Nen user, I don't know.
Fucking robot Naruto.
Yeah,
Fucking
it
joking.
was a filler arc. Mecha Naruto with the filler arc, don't worry about it.
Jesus Christ.
Don't worry about it. So also like maybe the robot girl is like a specialist thing or like one of those summon things from someone else in the crew we don't know.
Yeah, it seems like she's a person. Like, she seems like her own thing, though. She doesn't seem like a Nen beast or anything.
I don't
like that.
know. So yeah, that's when Jing says he's number 2 now. Which is pretty funny. So he used to be the leader. But we cut away, we get the Ox looking for Kurapika when you go to his like shady ass gang hideout.
It's really funny to me that, like, this kind of behind the scenes Kurapika has just become like a mobster guy. Like,
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like.
Because like, where else are we gonna get information of
Yeah.
it from other than being in the shadows as like a criminal?
It's just funny because initially, like, we see him join the mob because, like, he has a very, like, specific reason. He knows that, like, these mafia guys are all going to be in York New City, and the Phantom Troop's going to be there, so it's convenient. But, like, he just stays there and just apparently rises in the ranks.
Yes.
So now he's just, like, a highly respected mob member.
Sure.
I guess they refer to him as a bounty hunter later, but, like...
Yeah. I mean, he has his very own set of goons that attack the Ox.
It's just so funny.
That's when he uses his Nen ability for the first time. Closed courtroom, cross game, which like freezes them and immobilizes them as they resist. Which I thought was great.
This just seems like a very OP ability. Like, I wonder what the conditions are for it.
He has like 3 different cards too, so
Yeah, the one seems like it just is the release card. Then the other one, I don't think we've really.
if he doesn't
seen
be
yet.
guilty about it, it doesn't work on you or something. Like the penance stare rules for Ghost Rider, where it just breaks it. Like, if you don't feel guilty, the penance stare doesn't work on you. So yeah, the guys aren't. They said they aren't a crime syndicate. By the way, that's what they should have said.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, sure. Not crime syndicate. Yeah.
We are not a crime syndicate.
We're in the collection agency. Yeah.
We go around to restaurants and we break a few plates and stuff.
Crack a few eggs if you know what I'm saying.
We bust a couple balls.
Get some gabagool. Gabagool.
Get some gabagool.
Gabagool. It's in the underworld called Grabagool.
Grabagool.
Because on the hunter you can't like iTube is Grabagool.
Grabagool is the favorite game of mine during Halloween.
On the Sampranos. Or the Altos.
The Alto. Oh, I love that's really funny.
In
That's
York,
really
New Jersey.
good.
So yeah, Kurapika is the boss. He was
Whoa, hold on, I'm sorry. I never even considered the fact that New Jersey exists in the Hunter x Hunter universe, but it definitely must.
York, New
If
Jersey.
New York New exists as New York, then whoa, you just blew my mind.
The York, New Jersey shores.
You just fucking blew my mind.
The wah 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 wah.
No, they're called Mama.
Mamas. And what's the opposite of a goose on there?
It's just a
It's
goose.
a duck.
Sure.
It's a white duck. So yes, so Kurapika is the leader. We learned
Leader of the bunch, you know him well.
he's the Oreo asked, do you want to join? He says no, but then he's like, oh yeah, I have information about the eyes that you're looking for. He goes,
I guess so.
he makes a murder face, and he says, oh yeah, the dark web, which dark web exists in the Hunter x Hunter universe, by the way, has videos of red eyes, and the Ox found the owner of them. And so yeah, then Kurapika joins, and on the ship we see the Force Prince. I don't even want to try.
I think it's okay, let me read it. Tessenerich?
Sure.
It's like a...
Senorich Hai Gao Rao, who is his full name, and he's like has the
Senorich.
eyes over his like throne, and essentially.
Yeah, bastard.
He's a dastard. His which we see later in the one extra chapter I read. It showed the entire like throne room more, and it's just like a horror. Like, oh, he really likes to murder people. Haha.
He's a bit of a bastard.
A bit of a dastard.
He's okay, so he clearly is like being set up to be the bad guy.
Yes, he is clearly the main villain of the next arc, I'm assuming.
The way that he's drawn is so fucking cool, though. He looks like
Each of the
such
princes-
a creepy badass.
Each of the princes are very uniquely drawn, minus the baby and the children.
Just a baby. I really like some of the princes. I think they get really creative with it. And the whole gimmick, too, is really fun, but we won't get into that yet.
Yeah. So, so Kurapika just said he threatened many people for the eyes. So at this point, like when I'm talking about the other members of like the Jing crew, I had to sort them by like their features in my notes because I don't have names
Because their
until later
names,
on.
yeah, they don't
So
have names.
Bullcut and Robo Girl prepare for combat against Jing, but Jing says he'll double their pay.
Which, hey, great, love
Sure,
it.
Bullcut trying to figure out Jing, and that he can set the money when he's satisfied with him as number 2. hair over eye guy gets money sent to him and gets scored and doesn't come. So he's like, I gotta leave. Like, he just straight up bolts, like, this leaves. Like, oh, he's probably not coming back. But you're like, oh, he's gonna come back.
We'll see.
So, yeah, so 1920 cartoon guy gets...
Tezuka. Osamu Tezuka. He's the mangaka.
Okay. So, I'm not gonna call him that. That's his character's name in this.
No, it's not.
So, he gets... He wants to accept the money. The rat doesn't object. The rat isn't being paid, which is interesting. Again, another note for him. We do not understand... I mean, I remember I did go back in last month. Like, I think I didn't care too much, but like I'm now like this. I think this arc sold me more on the rat's game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, other than the fact that he had those eggs from the other one, I think this arc has made me very curious. He's not doing it for pay now. We don't know his game, and like
he's solely motivated by like something. Like his willingness to just be an asshole. That's what it seems like.
He doesn't even act like an asshole too much. It's just like his motives are what make him an asshole. And we don't know clearly from that.
And it's just like, this is kind of the thing that's like crazy. Like, Netero allowed him to get to this way. Like,
you did Netero, you did this.
Yeah.
Not only did you murder like 50,000 people from your nuke explosion, and like, come on.
Sad.
He had so many bodies on him.
Yep.
So, and now you have more because of Beyond.
Yeah.
So.
Netero is the true, like, Hitler of this universe.
Weird Buddhist Hitler.
Secret Hitler.
So, yeah, Kurapika and Lurio finally talk to each other, which is great. Ox tells Kurapika to be careful with the prince, because obviously no princes can ever be a normal person. They're all evil.
Why would you trust any of them?
Yeah, never trust a prince in any form. So, Gon... So, basically, we cut to Gon and we learned he can't make aura anymore.
It's gone.
He's gone. He's back home. It's gone. Fuck, he doesn't want to be... So yeah.
And then, so he talks to Jing, and Jing is like, "Oh yeah, because you used all of it." He's just so fucking nonchalant.
Or that
so
contract
weird.
you made that fucked your body up. Literally, like, does not allow you to make Nen anymore. You did it just to beat that cat. You pounded to a bloody pulp.
Which, I mean, I guess was like, I guess they had to like. I guess he probably would have gotten killed by Pizza if it hadn't have been. But still, I mean, like, it's sad. But whatever.
Yeah.
But so. Gon, the one thing I really like is that Gon is just so fine.
He's
just like, I'm alive, I'm just a young boy.
I somehow managed to recover from that. If I can't use Nen, so what? I probably would be like, I probably could have went with Jing to the new Darkana, but I felt like I would have gotten in the way because they don't have Nen.
Mm-hmm. The problem here, and that is just weird, is like, all of the development that Gon had at the end, during the Chimera Ant arc, where he's, like, becoming a monster, it seems like it's just gone. Like, he's back to normal.
Hisoka wanted, like, literally, like, helped, in a way, Killua, just so Gon could get healed, and now, like, if he felt like, oh yeah, Gon cannot use Nen, fuck.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, how would Hisoka even...
Like, I was literally, like, grooming him to be, like,
literally,
my next chub.
Do you think,
Fun fact, there's a ramen place that opened up near my house, and they were playing a Hunter x Hunter on the TV in there while waiting for my food. It was Gon versus Hisoka in the,
Heaven's Arena?
Yeah, and it was, like, in the subtitle, cause it didn't have the audio play, but it was like, enthusiastic moan, whether like in it, whether he was like so turned on by God.
The swing.
It was just like it was the face, like his tongue like sticking out. I was like, I'm seeing this in public with like 4 other people just like waiting for their food. It's so fucking funny. But yeah, he's like, how is he gonna like?
Do you think he would just kill him? Do you think he would just kill Gon?
I feel like he would find if he does go to New York or find with Corolla, we gotta get this boy some Nen again or like he go to a Killua even to be like, can you bring his Nen back?
Can we make another wish, please?
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Like, that would be so fun to see Killua and Gon team up to get Gon's Nen back.
Or they go to Darkana to try to find something there that can recover Nen, or maybe they find the jar.
The cum jar.
The cum Nen jar. I don't know, man. And give Gon like a new power system.
I had thought about that. I was thinking, like, what would, like, if Gon did put his blood in with the thing, would it give him an M-Beast or not? Because, like, it seems like he just has no Nen anymore.
Do you need, like, latent Nen in your body for it to take shape or something?
I would assume so.
I mean,
we can talk more about this when
Yeah.
the rules are explained more, but
yeah. So, and then after that, the 5 creatures brought from the Dark Continent are more dangerous than Chimera ants. So that's the power scaling on that. That you have good luck with that, everybody.
So I want to know what they mean by this. Do they mean like, because it can't mean more dangerous than the king, because the king was like god tier strength, like
He was literally God.
like yeah. But like the I would say like the
more,
queen wasn't that dangerous.
More so, like they can be eradicated and like they can, not even controlled by like that's becoming integrated in society. More so, of just like they can be exterminated. Where
these things can't be. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, these things can't like.
They don't know how to just like the ghost figure, the ghostly thing that is Nanika.
It attached itself.
Yeah, how do you even fight that?
You have to kill the child, and you have to
destroy the child.
It's a 1-for-1. You have to kill someone
Yeah.
to get rid of it, and even the those creatures that like keep humans as puppets. That's horrifying. You don't know like what it is or what like
yeah
the extent of it. Immortality disease. It's a speech for itself. Like there's so much. So, then we get back to Jing explaining to Glasses, Chef, Bowcut about other things. There's an electric rock that activates underwater. These are things that are like in the Dark Continent.
yeah.
Like so, there's an electric rock that activates underwater, so that can just be used. I
like
guess.
a permanent battery. Just
yeah, or a way to just electrocute someone underwater.
Oh yeah, that too, I guess.
So there's also a cure-all herb in an ancient city, but it's protected by the botanical weapon mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's probably something Leorio's going to want to look for over there if he goes. So, and maybe that can cure Gon's nenlessness.
Maybe if it's a cure-all, I guess.
Yeah, who knows?
I think it would kind of be cool if Gon just never got his Nen back.
Yeah, I mean, you can cut away from even though Gon is like supposed to be the main character of this. Like I said, there's a cycle of main characters in this show. And, like, we kind of wrote off the main 2 for the last one, so let's see how this goes. So, okay, so Jing tells Netero about... Jing tells that Netero about his trip was... The place is too big.
I love that it's just too fucking big. And then the flashback that we see...
There's huge creatures. Like
it's insane. Like
it's like the scene from Jurassic Park where they first see, like, all the dinosaurs, like, roaming in the field. But it's just, like... These monstrosities are even bigger than that.
I love that every time the show's seen, it's like the scene in episode 1 of Star Wars where it's like always a bigger fish, but like that always a bigger fish thing is happening like at the same time. So there's like these things that are getting eaten by other things that are getting eaten by other things. It's crazy.
They show Isaac Netero, Zig Zulduk, and I think it's like Lynette Audible. I don't know who that one is.
So she kind of looks like Bisky.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
This is like the weird like shonen crew of like a prequel thing they could have, and we'll get to the other name at the end of this chapter. So, the hair eye guy returns. Say he spent his money to save his sister in the hospital with it as well, and accepts Jing as number 2. We're like, okay, that's actually nice.
Yeah,
that he's not doing it just for like personal gain like that. He's trying to help his sister, so it means he's gonna die a horrific death. So yeah, and then they have a book from an old explorer. Only the West edition of this book had not been found, which is the book earlier that exploring the continent or whatever. And it was written 300 years ago. And he said the writer is still writing it, or he thinks he's still writing it. And his name is Don Freeze. I'm like, what the fuck?
I know.
Does he have the immortality disease then? And he somehow conquered it? Like,
or he's just super old. Like he's like a Netero character that's just like super fucking old.
Nenability, kind of like Bisky, that stops him really from aging, or like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's just so much, dude.
There's so many mysteries just being set up, and pits that are still on a boat.
So the other girl's name is Lynn Hors d'oeuvre.
Hors d'oeuvre?
Wait.
Hors d'oeuvre.
Wait, no, that's not true. Never mind. Don't.
Do you want to show you Lynette?
What's her name?
Lynette Adobel.
Adobel. Whatever. I'll try and find it.
Yes. Okay. So Jing talks. So this is when Jing explains what happened to Gon, because he says about his aura. He had it with him, but now it was just gone. Like that's all he can say. He says he's returning home, and Gon didn't want to travel with him. He said Jing felt more like a cool uncle. Which I think is hilarious, by the way. But the group accepts Jing, and someone took the one that took the money, or the rat eye hair guy, the chef, and the lollipop dog creature person. and some didn't, which are the bowl cut, the robot girl, the actual robot, 20s cartoon man, glasses, and I just wrote girl, because that's basically her defining feature was girl in a kimono. So they won't listen to his orders, and so whatever, it's fine. Jing makes a speech. The rat internally hates him because every time he cuts to the rat's internal monologue, it's just "I hate you" so much, and he's like dying inside, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So the trips have been planned for a while. It's more than money, and it isn't for everyone. So Jing will pay the rest. Will definitely just pay the rest of them. Rat wants to see what he wants to do with someone he hates. That's like his whole thing. Like, I hate you, Jing. I don't know what I'm gonna do with someone I hate. I've never hated someone as much as you do. I do for you.
I think this is what they explain it too, where like Pariston feels joy when people hate him. Like, he is something in his brain is wired wrong because he feels emotions reverse. Like, he is just really fucked up, and like, I don't know what we can do. Like, what can we redeem with this character? Like, assuming that he is actually bad, and this isn't just like a setup, an elaborate setup.
I feel like he has these ulterior motives. I don't know. We don't know. So yeah, the kimono girl takes the money. Beyond is paying $1.5 billion. Billion. The prince this is because of the prince. He takes girls to his hotel room. He hated them and just butchered them right away. I'm like, okay, he's super evil. Definitely had no redeeming qualities.
I don't know.
He's a big butcher.
Do we want to say he's evil?
He's hot, so he's morally gray. Yeah, so it's fine.
He's very hot.
So yeah, that was freaking cool, I guess.
That was freaking cool, I guess.
The dog tells Beyond he will be watched 24 hours. He agrees to it. And the ox asks Kurapika what he would do if the prince resists, and he says he won't do anything. I guess anything that would kind of
like Killua or not Killua. I always do this. Kurapika is like,
he's not a spider, so he probably has more restraint over him, especially if it's gonna cause what's the word for it causing like a incident across the water, just in like royalty.
International waters.
International incident.
Oh, okay, international incident.
It's like that, or he's like, I won't call unless he provokes me. He's not a spider unless he sees like, oh, I have a spider tattoo, and this one's not peelable. So, quick question though, like, so if Killua used his ability on Hisoka when he was like a weird temporary member without the real tattoo on him, would it have killed Kurapika? You know, he was either a fake member or pretend to be a real member for them just so he can get close to Chrollo.
I think in that case, I think it would probably be like,
what
does Kurapika think? What does Kurapika believe?
He said it only works on spiders, and if he just like killed it all, like, oh, I'm not a spider though, and I don't want to break the Nen law, and just dropped it. Because
we know that Shizuku is able to use her Nen ability in a way that breaks the way that she describes it. So
I'm gonna tell you, but she had dirt on her tattoo, and it got it.
That's true. No, that's a different thing. But no, because she uses the rule about the vacuum is that she can't use it on living things. But she sucks the blood out of, like...
Which is living.
She uses it on living things.
Blood cells are living.
And they explain that it's like, okay, well, she doesn't realize that it's... So, I would say if he killed Hisoka thinking Hisoka was a spider, I don't think it would kill him.
It kind of reminds me of Mitsuba in Part 8's rules, where, like, you just use the arrows for ways that she needs to use the arrows other than just pushing stuff a certain way, where she's like, I can use it to seal up my wound, or use it to just shoot out this dust alone, like, nothing else out of me. Like, you kind of just have rules to it of what you think you can use it for.
Yeah, it's very much, like, colored by the user's understanding of it.
Yeah.
Which is very fun.
Yeah.
It makes it feel very, like, subjective.
Yeah, so that was the end of that chapter. Zodiacs meet up, say there are bigger threats than the ants, which of course we covered it. Kurapika asks how many allies they have that Beyond has in the Hunter Association. Dog brings up the rat and all the temporary hunters, like all that stuff, and Ox speaks alone. And then it cuts with the Ox speaking alone with Kurapika and saying there's a spy in the Zodiacs. Which we learned that a little bit. So I wrote this. We kind of get like each of the Zodiacs and what hunter they are. Which I thought was interesting.
Yes, I really liked this.
So Cheeto is a disease hunter. Dragon the terrorist hunter. God bless.
That was so funny. That there's a terrorist hunter.
The rabbit.
Also, sorry, this just made me think, like, damn, there's, like, Nen terrorists.
We haven't got to that can of worms of this, like, terror. I guess they're...
The bomber is, kind of.
Well, the bomber, and I feel like the whole York New was essentially just terrorist acts going on nonstop.
Yeah, they're pretty much just terrorists.
The whole day or whole week was just terrorist acts going on between... I guess I think the troop are terrorists?
Oh, they're totally terrorists.
But
well,
morally gray terrorists.
Actually, are they terrorists?
They're morally gray, so they're hot. So they're not just they're hot.
Because the goal of a terrorist, theoretically, is to like inspire terror. But like the Phantom Troop doesn't feel like they feel like they just do what they want. Like they're not intentional terrorists. They're accidental terrorists.
Sure. Leave the comment what you think that the Phantom Troop are terrorists or not.
Do you think the Phantom Troop are terrorists?
This is a deep conversation we get in for Hunter x Hunter first time. So we had the rabbit who's a paleograph hunter. Chicken who's a botanical hunter. The horse is a problem hunter.
I love that. I absolutely love this.
The most sensical one, the monkey, is a bounty hunter, but I guess because he's a spot.
He just seems to be like raw strength. Yeah. Like, not very smart.
I do love the sheep being a poacher hunter. I think that's perfect. Tiger the treasure hunter. Snake is a poison hunter who's probably looking for that other snake. And then that's basically every hunter we got from there. Then. So yeah, Moral and Knob are going to be on the fake Dark Con. It's cool. Going to see them again. Hopefully, maybe if they ever get off the boat. Next, I'll say the next Hunter exam is starting, and they're only recruiting people on the Hunter exam for the journey. So this is like a weird, like nerfed Hunter exam for only one specific thing.
Yeah, it's like okay, and then like I think we can just say like the next chapter. This is with the month. Time skip.
Oh, yeah.
They skip over the fucking
this is the same
Hunter
chapter.
exam.
It's 1 month later.
Yeah, they skip over the Hunter exam, which I remember when I was reading this, I was like, oh, cool, we get to see, like, a Hunter exam from the point of view of the instructor, and, like, nope, we don't. Like,
no, it happened. None of them are important.
No, they aren't. It's, like, very much, like, I don't know, I think this is very interesting, because Cheadle is, like, changing, obviously, like, the chairman can do what they want, but Cheadle's, like, very strategically using the Hunter exam in a way that is, like, kind of unfair to prospective hunters.
And after seeing how hunter exams have been in the past, where we only got, like 12 hunter, or less than, like, 10 hunters, I think. Yeah. And even the second one, where it was only killed because he murdered everyone.
See, this is the third one, like, the actual, like, every Hunter exam we've seen. Yeah. Except this one, I guess. Yeah. We don't technically see it.
He was one of the things that cuts to Jing just taking Nen challenges. He did, like, a language challenge with all of them to try to get their, like, you show how great Jing is.
Also, Jing doing the whole thing where he can, like, make little shapes with his Nen. He's just, like...
He's really good.
Jing is just so OP. It's not
There's
even
a reason why he's, like, probably one of Netero's favorite, like, member, then why he's, like, one of the exception Zodiacs, or at the time. So, yeah. So we also start getting the names of the other characters. Like the cartoon guy is Usamen. Usamen.
This feels like a reference.
Probably. I heard he plays Mario with a lollipop dog named Picotero.
Oh, the dog is so weird.
It's like his one person that's kind of as cool as Jing. So yeah, and the glasses guy name is Curly. He takes some money as well.
I like his design. He's got a fun design.
The Hunter exam ended. Beyond Netero had assassins in there that had Beyond assassins that I remember they were going to try to fool to get in onto the ship that Kropika was like lie detecting. Kropika is also the new rat, confirmed.
This is really funny because like, Kropika has this like this new ability where he can like lie detect. So it's funny that he's the rat. Like he's ratting out.
He kind of looks like Partisan, like with the long blonde hair.
I wonder if that was intentional.
And I guess Leorio being the hot-headed, being the boar makes sense as well.
Yeah.
So he did the lie detector thing. Jing said he wants to help Beyond and deter Partisan. And that's when the hoodlum guy come back in. They say they have to pick one number 2, and Jing says tell him to leave, and Rat says die. So they had different reactions to the goons.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to the fight. You're actually seeing Jing's ability.
So I think the reason why this exists is because there hadn't been a fight in maybe 12, 13 chapters.
There's a 5th choice. You both can die, and then they shoot guns. They do like emitter guns,
they make emitter guns.
The emitters use conjure guns that shoot a mission.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's how it works. So Jing uses his Nen. He punches the ground, which is Leorio's move that he did on him.
But it's like 100% more powerful
because he can learn to like use it at his max potential. Like,
yeah.
So he can copy any punch move he's been hit with. Only when he's hit with them, by the way.
Yeah, which is funny, I guess.
So he gets hit by, he goes, wait, like, 'cause remember when things came in, like, how many swings you want me to do? He would say, oh, hit him with one. And he's like, oh, wow, that's a pretty powerful punch. I'm gonna do it 10 times real quick, faster than you can spin him. Because I'm Jing and I'm the best.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, and then
1,000 spins.
and then he also uses his Lurio's technique like an ultrasound because that's how he would use it in a medical field. I thought, oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool. That's like he knows he's going to be a doctor from Gone, so this is how he can use this ability just for like weird things like that.
Yeah, I think this is so cool. This is like
It's a good way to explore Leorio's technique without having someone get hurt and Leorio having to do like surgery on them or something.
Totally.
So
And it's also kind of setting up like, oh, what kind of other fun things will we see Leorio do in the future?
yeah, or when he does have to do medical procedures, like. So that's when Jing called out the rat for staging this whole thing just to see his Nen ability. We also learned about the robot man named Gollum. He does shit.
Galoo.
Gollum. So he's a symbiote type. He conjures heavy arms, and right along emitter will provide the bullets to him. So he is a mech. He is a mech weird thing, but like you get an emitter in there to help like shoot the guns off. So it's like a 2-person Nen.
That is so cool.
It's interesting.
It's so different from like how we've seen Nen used before. Even just the idea of like conjured guns using like netter using like emitter Nen. Like I think that's so cool. It's like it's like symbiotes.
Yeah.
Symbiosis.
So that's when the goons hesitant to take the money. Jing says he will give it all to the Norwell Fund, which is like widow mercenary families fund, essentially. Because, they're tough business. We also learned that the bowl cut guy's name is like Mashev. M-A-S-C-H-E...
Sure.
E-R, or not sure. I think it's R. I think it's R. I'm very bad handwriting.
You've already spent more time on it than the manga will.
Very true. And Jing is confirmed to be the number 2. That's when they get the final test of the Hunter exam. It's just a Q&A.
Damn, I wish.
Yeah, and you have to answer 3 questions from a video by Kaken, which is, number 1, did you know about the voyage before? Number 2, if so, explain how. Number 3, what merits would they gain? So Kurapika fails many with his Nen ability. He can only see through trained liars. So anybody, if you're good at lying, you fail immediately. I think that's broken. You either be a very bad liar and avoid.
That's a really funny little detail. I didn't catch that.
So Kurapika fails. Yeah, so he fails a lot of them. So they said the only thing they can get past it if a spy can alter their memories to forget it, like, and that's how that's how they would do it. Which is like, that's interesting. It's like, does anybody have fucking powers to... And that's why one of the Zodiacs could, and that's why you have to like, we have to get these, learn their abilities. So, so the prince gets the long name prince?
Call Prince T.
Prince T. He gets a call.
Tessinaris.
He gets from his brother Benjamin. But thank God for such a simple name. So he was wrestling a tiger. I'm like, this guy is like a huge
He's
chest.
so fucking big.
He's massive. I love him. The father agreed to a deal. The sole survivor will be a new king. So I really can't wait for the baby to fight. All the brothers seem to hate each other. The 6th prince, also named Tyson. I wrote that down because that was before I wrote down all the fucking names. 5 of them passed Hunter. There's 5 people that passed the Hunter exam, by the way. So Zodiacs had 3 factions. Factions have to know each other's abilities. So the factions are chicken, rabbit, and monkey are one faction. Horse, tiger, snake another, and dragon, ox, dog, and sheep in the last one. So they change up their usual squads for the Dark Continent. So they must share their info, which is. The info squad is the rabbit, ox, and horse. This is them swapping up. The flora and fauna experts are sheep and chicken. Science is snake and dog, and the defense is tiger, monkey, dragon, which it makes sense.
Yeah.
So Kurapika's really happy that Leorio is here. It was a really nice moment seeing them, like, the crew is backing away. This is the new crew. I'm gone and you're Killua. I think it's the other way around, but Kurapika's definitely more Killua than Leorio's gone.
Yeah, for sure. It is funny because they kind of do have like that kind of similar dynamic.
Except like one of them not as OP. One's like a doctor.
Yeah.
He's a doctor, not an enhancer, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So Ox is mad sus that Rat is left easily after election because the spy was set. Kurapika's gonna help him find the the imposter. Ox calls a meeting, an emergency meeting, just like just like in Among Us. He tells everybody flat out, "There's a mole in our group," and he asks everybody to reveal their abilities. So the Ox goes first. Says, "I use 3 colored cards to restrict action: blue to admit you to a courtroom, yellow to put them under control, and red to dismiss the courtroom." It's called cross game resolve in all caps I wrote. And Kafka just watching on cam because all he needs is a camera on you. He can just read you like a book.
So OP.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, the monkey's a mole right away." Like, okay, oh sure.
Yeah, right.
That the mad sus. And then that's technically the end of the arc.
Okay.
Because
You have notes on the... Yeah, save those for next time just because we did say what the chapters were going to be.
Yes, before I have to go through my entire thing of all the names of the fucking princes. From Benjamin to Wobble.
I forgot that Wobble is the name
Wobble's
of
the baby. and the descriptions they have of each and one of them. So...
yeah, I need to... So, okay. I guess we can transition to talking about, like, future arcs. So, the next arc is the most recent arc.
The Secession arc.
Yeah.
Secession Wars or Secession Contest. I'm not sure.
So I think Secession Contest is the way that the wiki has it labeled.
Okay.
So
overall, it's a lot of detail-heavy arc, but I did like... And the big focus is a lot of, like, you know, learning about New Netero, learning about the Dark Continent, this whole new like setting, and learning about the rats' ulterior motives, which is like a lot.
Yeah, I kind of have some like, I don't know if they're criticisms. I guess they are. It feels like the manga has changed like drastically. Like the priorities of the story have changed so intensely now that Gon and Killua have left.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, and like I think I made this joke last time, but Togashi just starts fucking introducing like
I can tell from
dozens of characters. Like,
and you can tell from like all the characters I had just read off from just like the introduction for those 7 chapters, and then for the next page you see all the princes that I wrote.
Yeah,
like
14. There are 14
princes, and some
plus the king.
Plus the king.
Wait till you meet their bodyguards, Sam.
I know, they've been mentioned about how they're trying to get their bodyguards sneaked in. Or
when I tell you that you are not prepared for the amount of fucking characters that are going to be introduced in this next arc, you are not prepared.
I know, the one commenter's like, feel sorry for your nose for the next arcs coming up, and I'm like, I believe you.
So that's why, so I'm going to reread. So I'm not all the way, I've mentioned this before, I'm not all the way caught up with Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
I'm like maybe 20 chapters behind. I am going to reread all of the Secession arc because... there is so fucking much.
Are we going to try to keep it as one recording? Or
we'll do that as one.
Okay.
Because it's one of those things, kind of like the Chimera Ant, where it's like a lot of stuff is happening, but in a very small setting and small time frame. Yeah, and I don't know, like...
I'm trying to think predictions of, like, what's going to happen with this, like... Obviously, certain prisoners are going to fight each other. I'm pretty sure, you know, the bodyguards, whatever. Kropka's probably going to encounter that 4th prince. And I know Hisoka and Chrollo are going to get that fight, but I'm not sure the Phantom Troops on that boat just say, "Hey, when the Phantom Troops not on the page, you'd be wondering where's the Phantom Troop." And here's your chapter for that. And here's Hisoka versus Chrollo, and I know there's another member of the Phantom Troop because I saw that cover. So, but who knows? It could be he could be wearing a fake spider tattoo.
Because what? Are we short one person?
Yeah.
As of,
I'm pretty sure they had one more spot left.
Oh fuck! I'm trying to remember because Kaluto took, what's his name? The enhancer guy.
The enhancer guy, and then they didn't replace the nose revolver chick.
Yeah.
The memory lady.
Yeah. So that's one empty spot then. Because then Chrollo did rejoin because he just went away for a minute.
He's just the leader for the most part. They had to find him an exorcist, which they found very quick.
Super fucking quick.
They found him in the next arc.
Yeah. So yeah, I have to say,
maybe
Phantom Troops coming up.
If they were on the ship, I would be down for some more other Phantom Troops getting some. Because I'm pretty sure there's still 1 or 2 maybe we haven't really seen use their Nen ability to a full extent.
The ones that were absent in like the last arc were Frank, the Frankenstein guy.
Yes.
Nobunaga.
Machi.
Yeah. Those are like the three main
Because
ones.
if Ahsoka shows up, she's definitely gonna be there. Because she's somehow the only person who knows Ahsoka before. I still have to read that Ahsoka origin manga.
Okay, yeah, that we'll talk about that next time because you'll probably encounter that.
Okay.
The weird Hisoka
Oh, and
April Fool's joke.
We also didn't see the guy who can make doubles.
Oh yeah, we didn't see him. I forget his name.
Fuck him. Who cares?
Yeah, we didn't see him. I wonder if he shows up. I don't know.
I can't. So other than that, like like you said, they're not gonna get off the boat. So there's just a lot of like internal politics going on for that family drama.
Yeah, so I'd say good
And
expectations. Don't go in.
I still
looking...
believe Beyond is going to escape because that's just how they got to set up Beyond, and the monkey will. I don't think he'll get him away. He'll get caught, but the Beyond will still escape because like I'm fucking a big guy. You can't stop me. So
yeah, I don't know what they were thinking of. Like, oh, we're gonna threaten Beyond with prison. It's like,
good luck.
motherfucker.
Good luck with that.
This guy's probably stronger than the Zodiacs.
Is there any predictions you could think I can take, or
It's
not as easy as it is like with like Chimera Ant or
yeah, no. If there's a lot that's open ended, and we're not at like a cliffhangery area, because I was looking at the next few chapters, and there's still some things that are like kind of tied up, or like loose ends that are kind of being like not tied up, but like storylines that are kind of being pointed towards the same direction.
Yeah, I kind of got that with like didn't really could tell the arc that was over. So
yeah, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything. Because
yeah, there's no other broad predictions you can really ask me to like try to make.
No,
Nah. No.
What do you? So okay, so you know about Nen Beasts.
Yes.
What do you think is going to happen with the?
Okay, so can we talk? I guess can we talk a little? Because like, I think I read the next chapter was like,
okay,
an
yeah.
explanation for it.
So chapter 349.
Just because like I just had some questions before I get into it. So it says they take a sip from the jar. They raise a spirit, a Nen Beast. It takes over their vessel eventually or right away. The Nen Beast.
It takes over their vessel?
It said it takes over its vessel. It possesses someone closely related to the dead and feeds on aura and metamorphosizes into a form plus ability influenced by the disposition. And it can't be manipulated.
I forget exactly. I think he's referring to like the vessel, like the jar itself.
Okay.
I think. But the thing about them not being able to be manipulated is like I was very surprised.
So it works on its own, what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like an automatic stand.
Okay, it's automatic stand, but can they control when they bring it out though, at least?
We'll see.
Okay. Maybe it just depends on the person.
I have to say, some of the designs are so fucking cool.
I saw the one they showed for him, but...
For what, to center?
For the king.
Okay. My favorite one is to center it. The fourth.
Yeah, the main one.
Yeah. He has like the coolest fucking...
I kind of just want Benjamin just to not have one, just to be his big, like, buff guy who doesn't really need one. But I know they all have one, essentially. I'm not sure, they probably explain, like, a certain age of, like, when they get it, or they give it at birth or something. I don't know.
Well, they all are doing it, like,
right now?
Oh, they're all doing it right now.
They only do it... Okay, that's right. They do it right before they have this succession, like...
Yeah, because this is, like, the game that the
when
king
you have
has
14
created.
kids with, like, different wives, like, all different wives, why not?
I think the whole... What are they called? Catan? Or Catan? The country that they're from?
Yeah, like Kakin or Kak.
Kakin, yeah. It's very interesting, because you can oftentimes, like, draw a parallel with, like, the real world with the Hunter x Hunter, like, what's it called? The one country at the end of Chimera Ant's very clearly supposed to be, like, North Korea.
Yeah.
York New, obviously, is fucking New York. But, like, I guess this is supposed to kind of be, like, China? Like... It's a very China influence, but like, the one thing that they talk about is they say that they, like, used to be a monarchy.
Yes.
But over the past, like, 30 years or so, they have just, like, kind of become, like, they've dropped the name, like, monarchy, but they still basically are one. Like,
it's weird.
They're, like, a pseudo... It's kind of like what I said with the reference to Napoleon III, where they're, like, a constitutional monarchy, basically. I think that's... I better look that up, because I'm sure history nerds jumped on my throat if I'm wrong about that. But...
So, yeah. So I don't know, like... I have to see these in action more than just seeing them and just seeing, like, the weird, like, put your hand in the jar, and then some anime girl comes out and puts something in your mouth, and that's how you get an M-Beast. And like the fact that they have these abilities and I guess like you don't really need to learn how to use it. It just like goes on its own. So
Yeah, it's like you can't manipulate it, so it just exists.
yeah, and maybe I want to assume that's something from the Dark Continent.
Hey, I would also believe that. I don't have an answer.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's really it, right?
Yeah, no,
So-
it's as I said, like I don't want to spoil anything because like
Yeah.
the next arc is very like okay, as I said, like I want you to just be prepared
I know.
that
My poor notes.
there's like a lot of characters. I kind of dropped it.
York knew prepare me for that.
You, imagine like so you know how like in the beginning York knew you could introduce like Melody and like who's that other guy like he's like a poet or
I
something.
don't know. Most of those characters died in York knew, other than Melody.
The one guy could like do poems or something.
Something like that.
So whatever they introduced imagine that happening like 14 times.
God help us.
They don't exactly, but
God help
like,
my notes.
still like each fucking prince is a character,
Ugh.
and then it's like branching trees off of that. Like, so
We'll see what happens. All on a boat.
I'm really hoping. I haven't looked into this because I'm very afraid of spoilers. So maybe I will just bite the bullet and do it. I want to see if people have like online have made comprehensive like character sheets because it gets to the point where there's so many characters that I don't know who is like aligned with who.
Lyman sheets.
So I would really appreciate, hey, commenters, if you know any great little visual guides that I can use while I read, because my fucking small brain can't remember all these character names and faces.
Mm-hmm.
And Nen abilities.
Nen beasts and Nen abilities at all.
Well, the problem
Zodiacs.
is the Nen beasts are like the easiest thing to remember because they're the coolest.
Zodiacs, Jinx crew, all this, everything in between.
And it's just so weird because like one thing about the character designs coming up is like they're really boring compared to the Zodiacs. Like the Zodiacs all look really fun and weird, and a lot of the new like characters, like some of the minor ones,
They live to die protecting the prince, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like Togashi loves drawing characters in suits, so everyone just wears a suit all the time.
He really does.
And it's like, I mean, it's funny when you see like Kill and Gon in a suit.
Well,
But, like,
at least like Crockett made sense because he became a mob boss, and mob boss gotta wear suits.
you know,
And Mario's
it's
a
cool.
doctor.
It's cool with Kurapika, but like I don't want to see like all these fun characters wearing suits. Like I want to see fun characters.
Just like he's like drawing crosses on people's outfits who aren't wearing suits, like Dog Cheeto and everything, and Crollo.
She's just really religious, Sam.
Sure.
Do you think Jesus existed in the Hunter x Hunter universe?
Yeah, it's
Do you
called
think
the
he was
King.
an end user?
It's called the King. And he died for his queen. Man, that still hurts thinking back on that
I know.
end of that, especially the end of the election arc. Just
Getting that
still hurts
little-
me.
Yeah.
Little hand. So, all right, and then just after the next episode, look forward to the poll going up about the next episode or next series. I mean,
Yeah.
of Dragon Ball,
Bleach.
Bleach, My Hero Academia. No, it's OG Dragon Ball, Attack on Titan, and One Piece. So we'll have a poll when the last episode drops for this.
And that will be like our new spin-off series.
Yes.
And maybe we'll do part 3 podcasts.
What's that?
But yeah, I just want to say I'm intimidated by the next arc. I'm afraid. There's a lot of reading. I lost interest before when I tried reading it, so.
Well, put your down below. Just, like, of course, after you've done like subscribing and all that stuff, leave a comment about like what your opinion on this mini arc or this mini like information stuff. Any other questions you want for people? Or
No,
just
I think that's good.
All
Because
right.
I am curious to see how people look at this. Because as I said before, this is like kind of a big shift in the story. Like
Yeah.
where it goes from being very like character based to like it's very like organizational now.
Yeah.
Like we have all these like big factions kind of butting heads, and the characters are still there, but there's so many like groups of characters that all have like allegiances.
Yeah.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Shut up. No one cares
Um,
about Game of Thrones anymore after that.
I'm the only one because
Even
the books are very good.
the books aren't even done yet.
They aren't, and they never
Are
will
they? They're still on the
be.
boat, right? On Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Some character might be. I can't remember.
So yes, thank you much for listening to this one. It's probably our shortest Hunter x Hunter episode, probably since the Hunter exam.
Probably.
Again, thank you. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit that bell. You can join our Discord. Follow us on Twitter either the podcast or each of us separately as well. Jim really wants people to talk to him about 13 Sentinels, so...
I do, but I also don't because I haven't beaten it yet. And it's hard because, like, if you talk to someone who's played further along in, like, one of the character stories than you could get spoiled by accident.
Yeah. And again, I'm not sure, should we put are you going to have the animation for this one?
Oh yeah, look at the screen. There's a cool little animation of Sam and I hanging out.
Credit that you are a very awesome commission.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Dio.
Yeah, we have the information to them in our description.
Down below.
Yes. So yeah, give them a follow as well. Thank you again. It looks awesome.
Yeah, super psyched about it.
And then yeah, check out any of our other videos if you haven't already. I think that's it, right?
That's it.
All right, and then we'll see you when we get to the Secession arc. Which how many chapters? It's still from 349. How many? When with the current?
It's
chapters?
almost 400, I think. Let me check right now.
So we probably got like 4 chapters. So I'll take my time. That probably won't come out, but at least probably for.
I guarantee that from the time this episode comes out to the time we make the next one, a new chapter will not have come out.
Really? We'll get more Berserk chapters before.
I'm pretty confident. Okay, so the latest chapter is 391.
Okay.
391.
So we got like...
Sorry, I'm lying. 390 was the last one.
And it ends before that, I believe, the arc itself, right?
What, the Secession?
Yeah. Or that's still going on.
Secession is still ongoing.
Okay.
As far as I know. Oops, I just saw the last page.
Oops.
I just want to see when the last chapter actually did come out, because that'll be funny.
I mean, yeah, if only we had a thing about checking the hiatus tracker for every episode. What's your prediction when the last chapter came out?
I think people have said it's been over a year, so I'm going to say it was like I'm going to say late 2018.
I'm going to say November 2018 is my prediction.
I saw the word November.
Isn't there a website?
November 2018.
Damn.
20.
Yeah.
It is. Damn. As in 2 weeks, it will have been 2 years since we got a Hunter x Hunter chapter.
Well, everybody, we can call this happy 2-year hiatus anniversary, everybody.
Ugh.
Put out your little party poppers and your little celebration. What's your favorite moment from the hiatus in the comments?
I just got sick to my stomach thinking that there's been 2 whole fucking years without
Hunter x Hunter.
A Hunter x Hunter chapter being
We got
published.
more Berserk. We have, like, what else came out? Anything else came out of hiatus that you can remember? We had many manga and light novel writers go to jail. The guy who did Log Horizon, the guy who did Rurouni Kenshin, that guy didn't go to jail, I think. But...
No, he didn't. He just got a fine, because that's how Japan works.
Yeah.
When you own a million fucking actual child pornography. And
Jotaro went to
don't
jail.
go to jail.
Live action Jotaro went to jail for marijuana.
Oh, he did go to jail, didn't he?
So much happened, but while Hunter x Hunter was not... We've had a whole pandemic.
Damn, I'm trying to think. There was a...
What's your favorite thing? What's the hilarious thing to think about that's happened while Hunter x Hunter had no hiatus? What has happened before Hunter x Hunter has come back?
I think I mentioned this before, but in Pat and Wooly, the Castle Super Beast podcast, someone commented once of, like, all of the things that have happened since the last Game of Thrones book came out, and it was frankly insane. Like, the entire Dark Souls series didn't come out, like, has come out since the last Game of Thrones book. The term walking simulator did not exist when the last Game of Thrones book came out. Like, insane amounts of time.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, no one knows suffering like Game of Thrones book fans. Or Game of Thrones TV fans.
well, they're suffering just from having a shitty final season.
That's true.
Like,
at least most of the show is good. Well, I think half the show is good.
Are you sure about that?
I would vehemently say half the show is very good.
Okay.
It starts to take a downhill in like season 6, in my opinion.
People
would say 4.
As Jim pushed up his glasses, actually,
I thought what they did with Brienne was not bad. Actually,
in my Game of Thrones 13 Sentinels.
You know what is like Game of Thrones? 13 Sentinels.
And in this podcast.
13 Sentinels.
And in this podcast, abruptly.
All right, and on that note,
I die. But thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you whenever I finish the Session Wars.
And I finished the Session
Wars. I forgot. I keep forgetting you didn't finish it.
I know, because I didn't like it. Goodbye.
Ta.